Hello. This week's article is called Voices. All of us are surrounded by influencers. The isolated life of my greats as Dutch Michigan farmers is clearly so much a departure from our experiences of today as to be considered on another planet. Times of quiet contemplation that were in abundance for them, especially in winter, are foreign territory to us now. In 1872, Mark Twain in The Gilded Age defined spring as, quote, when the abused brown grass, newly relieved of snow, seems contriving its green raiment again, only to fight the inevitable fight with the implacable winter and be vanquished much more. End quote. We can feel that way in different seasons of our life. Unlike the grass, our, quote, year, unquote, of seasons spans many decades. Often these days, 70, 80, or more years. Most days of all those years are unremarkable. Not so during several hours of my life. Our son James was scheduled to be born, at least according to the pregnancy bell curve, on May the 15th, 1984. Unpredictably, on April 14th, things changed. Shortly, the contractions came and we ran off to Swedish Hospital in Denver. We had trained for and were accommodated for a natural delivery, but fate was again to change the course. After 18 hours of labor, an infection was setting in around the preborn baby, and the fetal monitor was telling the doctor something was terribly wrong. His heart was stopping and starting in fits. There was not time enough to go to surgery for a C-section. Two huge nurses stepped into the picture. All I will relate here happened in a matter of 2 minutes. With my wife Cindy pushing as hard as she could, the nurses pushing from the outside, and the doctor pulling from underneath, the mental strain in the room was tangible. The phone rang like there was nothing going on. It was Cindy's mom, Edith, calling to ask how things were going. At that moment, little James shot out while Cindy turned her head towards me in a triumphant smile and threw up all over me and the telephone. I said, "It's a boy," and I hung up. My ability to deal with all that was happening was overwhelmed by the activities, and thankfully so. Had I been sitting in the waiting room, instead, the tension would have been unbearable. There, the battling voices in my head would have decried the 18 hours and assumed the worst, though hoping for the best. We have two voices every moment of our lives. One is horribly negative, and the other is hopelessly optimistic. Add to my voices the television, YouTube, books, friends, pastors, video games, work, the nightly news, bosses, co-workers, and politicians. It is a miracle we don't go bonkers with all the noise. We're heavily influenced with no time to digest all we are hearing and seeing. No sooner have we made up our minds on a question than we are unwillingly plagued with evidence that our decision is unsupported, unpopular, or just plain wrong. So here's my suggestion. First, weigh carefully how important the question figures in your life. Then, judging the importance, slow everything down. Take your own sweet time to decide. Very little of life presents itself in the category of emergencies. Treat everything else as the Dutch farmers would in 1860. Listen to both of the voices in your head, shut out most of the other noise, and move accordingly. I'm wishing you an hour a day of quiet contemplation as we watch the grass yet again break out in spring. If you like this article, please click on the like button or the subscribe button or both of them. Thanks. I hope you have a good week.